Good morning, this is Brother Mike, back with the thought of the day on April the 13th, 2023. First, I want to give honor and praise to the Elohim of Israel for waking me up today and giving me the strength to bring you this message. Then I want to open with the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Your will, not mine, be done. Today's topic I want to talk about is it doesn't click until it clicks. It doesn't click until it clicks. Many of us get frustrated with our family and friends and loved ones who struggle with addiction and recovery. And you get frustrated at yourself sometimes too, wondering why this person don't get it. What am I doing wrong to get the point across that they have a problem? But you have to take that responsibility off yourself, because when you're dealing with that person, it's not going to click until it clicks. It takes some people one trip to rehab, some people 2 trips, some people 20 trips, some people 30 trips, until it finally clicks that they have a problem. Me, myself, it took me 2 trips to rehab. The first trip I went down there with good intentions, but as soon as I went to my first meeting, I compared myself to the people instead of identifying with them. At that time, I was drinking a pint a day. I heard somebody say they was drinking a half gallon a day. I said, I'm not like them. I heard another person say they was drinking hand sanitizers and hairspray, things of that nature. I said, I'm not like them. Then somebody came up to me and asked me, what do I drink in the morning to get going? I said, I don't drink in the morning. I said, I'm not like them. I don't belong here. I did belong there at that time, but I compared myself instead of identifying. And the guy told me when I came back, he said, you're going to come back and you're going to be drinking twice as much. And he sure was right. 4 years later, when I went back, I went from drinking a pint a day to a fifth a day. Now, back with the gift of desperation, I opened the book for the first time, and I read about, in the AA book, I read more about alcoholism chapter, and I read about the different things we do to classify ourselves non-alcoholic. Only drink on the weekends, change brands, only drink on vacation, all the different things we try to do. And I identified immediately. But the part that made me click was when I saw this guy that was 30 years old, and he said he wasn't going to drink again until he retired. And he waited 25 years to drink. He was sober for 25 years. And after 25 years, he picked up a drink. And 3 months later, he was in the hospital. And 3 years later, he was dead. That's when it clicked for me. That's when I said, if I don't do something, I'm going to die. A lot of people, it won't click with them for a couple reasons. One reason is you got to be totally honest with yourself to understand that you have a problem. And it's hard for a lot of people to do that. We keep rationalizing and rationalizing on why it's okay for us to still drink. You get a DUI, you say, it wasn't my fault. I just shouldn't have been around that neighborhood. I know I just should have drove around my town. Not the fact that you was drinking. You get in trouble with the spouse. It wasn't my fault. She drove me to drink. I wouldn't be drinking if it was because of her. Things of that nature we try to rationalize instead of being honest with ourselves and say, yo, I have an issue with alcohol. That's why it takes most people to hit rock bottom for them to even consider that they might have a problem. And once you hit that rock bottom, you might develop enough pain to change. See, enough pain is what's taken many a times for the person to really come to grips and get that gift of desperation and then want to change. Because we don't change until the pain of where we at overrides the fear of where we going. Most people won't be honest or change because they don't know who that new person is going to be. And they're afraid of that new person. They don't even know if they're going to like that new person. So they'd rather just stay where they're at and not change. We did a video about that before. But it's not going to click until it clicks. So don't beat yourself up. People who have loved ones, and it might be a spouse or anybody like that that's dealing with addiction, because it's not your fault. You're not doing anything wrong. It just didn't click yet. And we have to get on our knees and we have to pray that that person keeps going to recovery, keeps going to meetings, because the Most High might have it where something in that meeting is said that it finally clicks. Like, yo, I have a problem. Like, I was watching the Denzel movie Flight, and you could tell when he went to that meeting, when the lady took him to his first AA meeting, and he heard the guy talking, it clicked in him. And that's why he got uncomfortable and he wanted to leave the meeting, because he identified with him. It clicked like, yo, this is me. And sometimes that's what it takes. So we have to be patient, even though addiction is so frustrating and it's deadly these days. We have to really have some patience and get on our knees and pray that it clicks with that person, because it's not going to click until it clicks. This is Brother Mike. Enjoy your day. Shalom.